Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chestnut Channel. Thanks for being with us. Today we have two guests who are very eager to talk about a new New England Highland Games event coming up in September. I would like to welcome Cathy Sutherland, one of the principal organizers of the Litchfield Hills Highland Games, and Walter Irvine, VP and Director of Business Development for Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut. Thanks for being with us, folks.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell me about, first of all, I suppose Lime Rock Park, what is that exactly?
So, Ray, we're an actual park. We're on the historic registry up in the northwest corner of Connecticut.
Okay.
And it's for sports car racing. It was built back in the late 50s, 1957.
Wow.
So it's a very historic track. But because it's where it is in Connecticut, we've had an injunction since the late 50s where we don't race on Sunday for our neighbors' sake. So
I see.
Part of the inception of doing the games is a bigger push to do cultural events on the Sundays where we're dormant in terms of making noise from a motorsports standpoint.
Okay.
So now we just make noise with bagpipes.
I see. I know a few other festivals in Connecticut have been Sunday before. I kind of thought it was a Connecticut injunction to make sure bagpipes were played on Sunday, but at any rate, this seems to fall in line with it for whatever reason that is. That's fine. So we're in it's in September, the Litchfield Hills Highland Games, right?
Litchfield Hills Highland Games, September 29th at Lime Rock Park.
Okay. All right. So I was going to say, what are we gonna have there? Some piping that we just mentioned, and I know you've talked to me about clans as well.
We're going to have pipe bands, and we hope a good representation of clans, Scottish food, as well as American food for those people that are not adventurous.
I see.
And Highland cows, and we have a faux haggis toss because, as you know, you wouldn't want to waste good food. So we make a 500-gram sack for them to toss, and the adults toss it off the top of a whiskey barrel.
I see.
And children use a hula hoop.
And this is on the infield of a track I'm picturing.
Yes, the track has a raised area infield that that's where we're doing our games.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, the park itself is wooded and it's pretty rural. So it provides a pretty accurate setting, plus there is shade in numerous parts of it. And the infield itself, there's an area that's perfect for the athletes to be able to participate in all of the activities that they have, because there are numerous athletic. It's part of a tour, correct?
Right.
It's a series of events that happen. And then the piping bands are all around, and they're also part of typically it's a judged event where they go to different areas where they're judged. So the park kind of lends itself, its space, to be able to do all these activities without being too crowded, but it's not difficult to see where everything is. So it's not like you have to take a shuttle or walk a long distance to get to any of the activities.
Right. Just
parking close too, and also handicap parking.
Okay.
And we also will have Birds of Prey. Sharon Audubon Society will be bringing some raptors to do 2 demonstrational shows during the morning hours. And here at Lime Rock, they have a beehive set up with Bee Works, and they are going to be there also, demonstrating how the bees are helpful to our environment.
I see.
There will also be whiskey tasting with Litchfield Distilleries. There's an added fee for that, and of course you must be of legal age. And we have Norbrook Breweries. They're a microbrewer here in the area that will be giving Scottish-inspired, selling Scottish-inspired beer.
Get you. Yep. And a clan village is what I call that clan area type of thing.
Yes. there'll be a clan village, and we're still looking for people to join our clan village. We have some empty spaces.
Right,
We love to welcome some new people.
right. That's why I wanted to mention that. I know that was one of the things you asked me about. You have some clans already right now?
Yes, Clan Donald, Lamont, McGivray, and then there's 3 or 4 that have said that they will come,
Mhm.
but it's not confirmed yet.
Okay. All right, good. So you're gonna there'll be food truck or that kind of thing out in the infield, not like your regular concession things that you run for the park. It'll be
It'll be
something out near
both.
Oh, okay. I see.
Cameron's food truck will be here, plus the park will provide like hamburgers, hot dogs, vegan options. And we also will have a fish and chips provider.
Nice to have the park built in with some of that, No one has that, I would say. Most of them are an empty field and you just sort of bring everything you need, but this is a little bit different and it sounds nice.
Yeah, the property itself, I mean, I'm biased, but it's a really, really good location. It's very appropriate for what we're trying to do, but it makes it easy. Having been to a number of games, and all of them have their pros and their cons, and I could say easily the way we're set up really lends itself to being able to view everything, without getting too tired out or having any issues with the heat or all that, the way everything's laid out. Plus the area here in Litchfield County in Connecticut, specifically the Northwest Hills here, you actually feel like you're in the Highlands.
Nice. I'm not familiar with that area, but it sounds beautiful. Now the clans can drive in there initially to set up and off again.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
That'll be something they'll ask, I'm sure. So being a tent person myself.
You're right.
The clans and all the vendors, both minor and major vendors, pretty much have right to the back door access to wherever they're setting up. So it's not as though they need to transport stuff in.
Okay.
There's also camping the night before, so if anybody wants to come down and either tent or RV camp, they could the night before the games and load in on Saturday and then be ready and raring to go come Sunday morning.
Okay. I know you told me, Cathy, that you have a background in athletics in general and Scottish Highland athletics as well.
Yeah,
Right.
yes. Yeah, I was a phys ed teacher and athletic director for 43 years. I've since retired. Now have to need something else to keep myself occupied.
Right.
And I officiate track and field, and I also was an official at the Cowell Highland Gathering in Scotland a few years back.
Ah,
It's just the baby.
Back, pull it in.
Come on, you can do it, you can do it.
Pull.
Save,
Keep those
come
elbows
on,
up.
son.
There you go. Drive, pull. Yes! Woo!
you not participated in the Highland Games yourself?
No, my husband is the athlete. He actually won Cowell 4 times and some of the other games in Scotland, and his wire hammer coach, Olympic hammer coach, was Scottish. And that's how we got sort of involved. One day he told my husband and another buddy that was also an American, we're going on the train, and they went over to Cowell and they competed for the first time. And because they were Americans, they would only let them compete in 2 out of the events that
Okay.
were contested. But then my husband was invited back.
One of the islands, correct?
Yeah, Dunoon. Cowell is
Archipelago anyway, the Cowell.
right.
Islands, okay, yeah. Right, so you're gonna have some of that on the field, some athletics there, some events taking place.
Yeah, we should have a full games with open men and women and master men and women. And if there are any novices or lightweights, we'll certainly add them in. many of the games only want the pro athletes that can do like really awesome things. There are very few games that have both high-level athletes and beginners. And one of the nice things about the heavy
true.
athletics is that everybody helps everybody else out.
Right.
You know, if you're a beginner, you're not shunned if you're by the more competent athletes.
Right. They remember the day they walked out there the first time as well, and with the first kilt perhaps and all that. You have to wear a
That's
kilt. So
true.
you have to wear a kilt. Don't have to be Scott, but
You must wear a kilt. It is a kilted event. We also have a kilted mile, which you actually get to run on the track.
I've never witnessed one of those.
It's a lot of fun. Also, one of our very close friends who was a member of the St. Andrew's Society of Connecticut, he has a cycling group, and we are a destination for their group to come drive their bikes, and then they ride in the hills around us, and then they are invited to do one escorted lap of the track.
Sure. I think they're the oldest. Is it?
On that day? On that day, you mean? I'm sorry.
On that day.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
they come in as part of a multi-stop event. And we take them from the games in the infield, and I bring them down behind the pace car. And they start their ride by doing an actual lap of the racetrack and then leaving the property. And then they come back at different times during the afternoon after they've been over the road. But it's a pretty neat sight.
Interesting. Interesting. You can blend that together. I know at Grandfather Mountain there's a road race, and they come up and run right around the. I think it might be bicycles and running, but they call it the Grizzly. I think it's up the mountain and down, and they take a lap around the track at the end during the games and all. It's kind of
I
nice.
forget their mileage, but they do a pretty substantial amount of mileage, and they're back in like their road speed must be pretty high, because it seems like they travel a lot of distance in a short period of time to get here and to come back here.
Right. So your background's in racing, it sounds like.
It is motor racing. Haven't really thrown a caber, but I've driven formula cars.
Yeah. And you've been VP at the track for a while?
I've been at the track. This will be my 12th year. I've been VP for 8 years, but I started out racing and then became an instructor with the Skip Barber Racing School. And that was back in 1990, 1991, and was an instructor around the country for their race series until leaving the school and coming to work here at the track. So here at the track, we do a lot of business development, coming up with programs like during COVID that people can do here at the racetrack and at the park. So it's kind of a dual job, the racing and endemic motorsports part, and then the park, being a hospitality / doing cultural events and things like that.
Right.
It's wonderful. It's one of those dream jobs where no 2 days are ever alike.
So we've got about 4 months before the games. You're gonna get some more athletes, some more clans. Pipe bands, you
Also
said you
invite a
already
lot
had
of
set up, I
British
think.
cars, motorcycles, and trucks like Land Rovers and Range Rovers. So some of what I do, blending my responsibility at the track, where I liaise with most of our car clubs and manufacturers that come here, is getting the word out, to come in on a Sunday where they've never been here on a Sunday, and come and participate in the games. So if you have a British car, British motorcycle or truck, you get in for free. It kills Cathy to do that, but we're letting them in for free. So it's the time to get out your sports car or your old motorcycle and come check it out.
British make day or British made day, something. Okay, nice. Name some of those, would you?
Sure. On the car side,
Yeah, I guess. Why not?
the easy targets are the MG, the Triumph,
Yeah,
Morgan, Austin Healey,
yeah.
Lotus, of which I'm a member of a chapter. And on the motorcycle side, there's a Royal Enfield, Triumph, BSA, Norton, and then the trucks. Everyone knows the Land Rover.
All
So
right.
we get some older and newer Land Rovers and Range Rovers.
Well, maybe get some guys on a bike on a kilt, in a kilt, perhaps. You know, never know. You said you're going to blend it together, so they do some crazy things with bagpipes and kilts these days.
Charlie Zahn will also be here to play for us,
Oh,
as
that's
well
correct. Yes.
as Corey Ann Armstrong,
All right.
as part of our musical endeavors. So they will be here to entertain us, and there will also be children's games and crafts. So it's really a family day.
And you mentioned to me veterans were getting in free, I think.
Active service and veterans are free, and children under the age of 12 are free.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and that's also a Lime Rock policy too. So for all of our spectator events and for all of the races that we put on, military, active military, and veterans are admitted for free.
I see. So falling in line with that, that's good though. Should be everywhere. All right, so I'm gonna be at several. I can't promise you I'm gonna be at this one, but and I know people will be talking about it. My friend Ed McGilvray has talked about it to a few people I know. He's intending to be there, like you said. Because I have several I do. And I'm hoping that you're going to get some people. You must get a lot of New Yorkers at the park, Walter.
We do. I think the bulk of the people that travel in, meaning they're more than about an hour from us, the bulk are from Eastern Connecticut and more south, towards the shoreline. And
Okay.
then, of course, people from New York, Dutchess County, and down into Westchester, and then a
Yep.
pretty good pull of northern New Jersey too. So as a venue from a marketing standpoint, we've got a great attraction to Midtown Manhattan, northern New Jersey, out through Hartford and the corridor all the way out to Boston. So marketing folks love us because we pull kind of the trifecta of major markets. This actually is a great opportunity for people that haven't been up in this area before, to have an excuse to come up and take a look. It really is very, very different in this area. Connecticut, having lived in Connecticut for a short period of time, it's a lot like New Jersey in the respect that it's a whole bunch of different kind of areas. It's not like driving through New Jersey and thinking it's all like the Upper Turnpike and Newark
Right.
Airport.
Mhm.
Beautiful, beautiful parts of Sussex and Hunterdon County. Just as they're, absolutely incredible parts like where we are here in Connecticut. So it's a great excuse for people within the state or just over into, we're about 7 miles, I think, from Massachusetts and about 5 miles from New York. So we're literally right in the corner, touching both Massachusetts and New York, but it's a great opportunity to come out and see this area.
Right. There's a big one in Massachusetts in July at Northampton, and I'm sure the same folks who attend that one would be in the same region and such, and I'm sure you're getting the word out to people like that, and they would certainly be there too. A lot of clans do. He has a lot of clans at that one.
So we also would like to reach out into New York State a little bit more. And one of our major sponsors is the Scotland Shop in Albany.
Oh, okay.
And they actually will be here at the games. And Lime Rock has an official tartan that's been registered with the
Okay.
Scotland Shop. And that's very exciting. And we're happy to have them, and we hope that everybody will come to our games. It is new. There was a point last fall and winter when there was a possibility there were not going to be any games in Connecticut this year. And that was the impetus for us to decide to host one.
Right. Yeah, we lost our Rhode Island one. And yeah, Connecticut was up in the air a little bit altogether. Yeah, it's true. And a few things came back or were thought of or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but I know a lot is going on. But I know my friend Claire McPherson got a hold of me and asked me to talk to you, which is worked out pretty well.
Claire is really an excellent promoter for all the games in the New England area that she's involved in, and we are very grateful for her help.
Yep. Yeah, she's a real go-getter. She's on the Chestnut channel with me as well. She's one of the members of the Chestnut channel. You don't see her on here, but she is. Believe me, she is. Without her and the two boys that are my musicians on there, they do quite a lot for me behind the scenes. So like I say, we have 4 months. Are you going to be at any of the festivals promoting this festival? That happens often. I don't know if you know that or not, but
Are you
thing
going to
people
be at
do.
Old Orchard Beach?
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm going to bring Willie to Old Orchard Beach, our Highland
Okay.
cow. I'll stop by and see you. I will be in Maine and I will hit Old Orchard Beach on my way home. And I'd also like to be up at the Maine games.
Mhm.
And you have posted what games you're going to be at, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I did post that. Yep.
Yep. So we'll catch up with you.
Okay. All right, good. I thought what I meant was you might have a tent there or something of your own. That's a thing that people do.
Well, we are going to be at a relatively local event, which we're going to have a tent up. It's called Scotland Invades Nottingham. And
yes.
that's on June 29th.
You told me about this. Okay.
And we will have a tent there, a major tent. And
I see.
that was organized by some friends of ours.
I see. Okay, yeah, I'd never heard of that one. That's largely athletic, is it?
The Saturday is a strongman's day.
Oh, okay.
And the Sunday is heavy events, Highland Games.
Okay. We'll sign up some men and women that day then
Certainly, be happy to do that.
for Lime Rock.
Yep, there'll
Okay.
be, I have some friends from St. Andrew's Society of Connecticut that will be at the tent with me.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have some society tents as well at the park, I would think that day. Sometimes there are at these festivals.
Yes, we're hoping a lot of societies will come besides St. Andrews of Connecticut.
Okay.
We like to see Rhode Island. We'd like to see Maine.
Right.
You have a society in Massachusetts, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yep. And New York.
Right. Probably every state does. They're called a little different in some places, but in fact, I think there's 3 or 4 in some of the bigger states. I was surprised at that. But they sort of have an area or regions. I guess it makes sense. Not used to that, but I have a small state in Massachusetts to go by. So, I think we talked pretty good about everything. Is something else you'd like to cover, either of you, or what do you think?
No, we would just love to see everybody here. The last time there was a games here, we had close to 2,000 people. And actually the people in the area missed not having the games last year. So they're looking forward to a new games. So we're hoping everybody will turn up and enjoy themselves.
Good. It sounds good. The food sounds good. The parking sounds fine. The clans can get in and out if they like to. A lot of us are older folks and we don't like to, even though we have the roller carts here and there, sometimes it's nice to come in and out with your vehicle, believe me.
You can, in general, drive up pretty close to where your tent will be.
Right.
And
Oh,
just
okay.
unload and then move.
Right. That's wonderful then. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Chestnut channel to let everybody know about the Litchfield Hills Highland Games on September 29th
Yep.
at Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut. Thanks for being here. Maybe you'll be back before then and talk to me. Who knows? All right.
I'd love to. And thank you
Okay.
for the opportunity. Nice to meet you, Ray. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ray.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. That's not everyone.